In the second and final day of the G8 summit in Northern Ireland, Africa was brought into the discussions. While tax evasion was on the agenda of the summit, African leaders asked the British Prime Minister David Cameron not to exclude them from the process. Several state leaders of the continent were invited to participate in a working lunch on the subject. The aim was to establish an international plan to fight tax evasion, whose costs are high, particularly in Africa. Losses from tax evasion amount to $50 billion, money which won't be invested in the country's economy and infrastructure. Several proposals were designed to put an end to these practices, but three main measures were proposed by Africans. Firstly, a global system to exchange tax information, the identification of the real beneficiaries of bank accounts because in certain cases, dummy accounts are set up. And finally, the requirement for multinationals to publicly report their activities and their payment of taxes. The purpose is to create conditions that will effectively fight against tax evasion and also against corruption. It will also improve the allocation of money from the exploitation of natural resources on the continent, considering the trend in recent years of undervaluation. This technique used by companies to sell goods to their subsidiaries at lower than prevailing market prices results in lower payment of taxes. Over the past 4 years, the practice of undervaluation has cost Africa roughly $160 billion and $400 billion to all emerging countries. Using the Democratic Republic of Congo as an example, in just 5 transactions, the sum of $1.36 billion was lost due to the undervaluation of mining concessions. This is equivalent to more than double the total spending on health and education. The total amount lost due to tax evasion is annually more than development assistance allocated to the continent, money that is needed for Africa to continue its economic development.